In my hands is one of the first Kiesel Vaders made with a bolt-on neck. They just announced the launch of this guitar a couple weeks ago, and as far as I can tell, I'm one of, if not the only person outside of Kiesel to currently own one. We're going to take a closer look at this guy and see how it stacks up to a neck through. The bolt-on Vader was announced just a few weeks ago before Kiesel Connect at the end of January. Coincidentally, I had been looking for a relatively bare-bones 7-string multi-scale guitar that was more comfortable to play sitting down than my Ormsby Hype GTR. I wasn't able to make it out to Kiesel Connect, but I happened to check out their in-stocks that night and this guitar was up there. It fit what I was looking for in practically every way, so I placed the order and then realized shortly after that the guitar Kiesel was using in their promo shots was this exact guitar. You can tell by the wood grain on the body. Enough about how I got it. Let's get into it. If you're unfamiliar with the Kiesel Vader, a lot of owners call it the ultimate couch guitar. It's a comfortable guitar to play sitting down, either in the relaxed position, classical position, or even in a vertical position if you want to just noodle around the neck. It's very comfortable and easy to hold or balance the guitar when letting go of it in any of these positions. The comfort comes from the fact that it's headless, has a cutout behind the trem, and has some very generous contours for the belly and forearm. As you already know, this guitar is a multi-scale 7-string. It has a one-piece swamp ash body with jet black raw tone finish. This is the first time I've seen the raw tone finish in person, and I'm really impressed with it. The neck is roasted maple with a thinner neck profile. They just started offering the thinner neck profile on roasted maple. It has an ebony fretboard with staggered offset green rain inlays and medium jumbo stainless steel frets. It's fitted with lithium pickups in both positions and has their multi-scale headless floating tremolo. The only changes I would have made to this guitar is to use jumbo stainless steel frets instead of medium jumbo and get rid of the floating trem. I do like their trem system. I have one on my Type X, but I didn't really need it on this guitar. I have noticed a slight downside to the floating trem on the Vader though. If you hold it in the classical position, the trem could hit your leg, and if you apply enough pressure, it could go out of tune. I have played this a lot in the classical position and have noticed it going out of tune only a handful of times, but it's something to keep in mind. If you want to see a full review of their headless multi-scale floating trem, let me know in the comments. Kiesel has been making neck-through Vaders for years, so why go with a bolt-on? There are a few reasons. First is the cost. With a starting price of $1549, the bolt-on variant is $200 less than the neck-through. That's like an 11% discount. It's simply cheaper because making a bolt-on is easier than a neck-through. Trust me, I made the mistake of going neck-through with the first and only guitar I built from scratch. But price isn't the only benefit. There are some wood options you can't get on the neck-through, like one-piece swamp ash or roasted swamp ash bodies. This might be obvious, but there's no way to do a one-piece body on neck-through since the wings of the body are glued directly to the neck. There are a few additional neckwood options that are available on the bolt-on Vader as well, like roasted maple, flame maple, and roasted flame maple. So if you want any of those options, best go for the bolt-on. The construction is going to play a part in the weight of the guitar as well. Swamp ash is one of the lighter wood options. This guitar weighs in at 6.1 pounds or 2.8 kilograms. The main reason a bolt-on is going to be lighter than a neck-through is because typically the neck is made of a much denser wood like maple, and it runs all the way through the body. Swamp ash is going to be about 24% lighter than maple. I did some rough calculations and is only going to save you about a quarter pound at most, probably closer to 0.2 pounds. That's about 90 to 110 grams for the rest of the world. It's not a huge weight savings, maybe 3% or so, but it is something. While we're talking about weight, let's take a look at the weight distribution at the strap buttons. This is going to tell you how comfortable the guitar is going to be when using a strap, and whether it is going to have a tendency to neck dive. Being a headless guitar, this is highly unlikely, but let's take a quick look at the numbers. 62% of the weight is going to be on the front strap button and 38% on the back. From my experience, you want to have less than 70% on the front button to prevent neck dive. This guitar is well under that. One thing we do need to address is the heel on this guy. It is definitely the most aggressive heel I've seen on a bolt-on. The thinnest point is about 0.2 inches or 5 millimeters. This heel is the same as their A2 bolt-on, which released almost a year ago, and they just announced they switched this heel to their bolt-on Aries. If I run my hand up the neck, when I hit that heel, it's so thin the palm of my hand just glides over it. You definitely feel a heel, but it doesn't stop you, at least at the palm. This isn't the case with any of my other bolt-on guitars. Some of them have a rounded corner which helps, but the side of my knuckle can still hit the heel and slow my hand down. What would slow you down on this guitar, like any other bolt-on, is your thumb. Depending on the position of your thumb, it can hit that heel and stop, especially on the low side of the neck. The angled contour definitely helps though. If you position your thumb more towards the middle of the neck, it will have an easier time getting over that heel. And if you tend to bend your thumb back and rest more of your first knuckle on the neck, that helps too. I don't have a neck through Vader to compare to, but my Type X is neck through, and I have a few other neck through guitars as well. While I would prefer a neck through, this is definitely the most comfortable heel on a bolt-on I've ever played. Really, the playability of this guitar is absolutely amazing, and the setup from the factory definitely helps. The neck has just a little bow in it, maybe a touch more than I would prefer, but still pretty good. The bridge was level and the action was really low when I got the guitar, but it did get set up in drop A, and I tuned my 7 strings to be standard. Tuning the low string up did pull the bridge up just a little, which brought the action up ever so slightly. While the higher action is noticeable, it still plays great. I should have done a quick setup on it by now, but I haven't for 2 reasons. The first being because the guitar is so much fun to play, I'd rather be playing it than setting it up. And 2, I plan to put a different set of strings on it, and I want to wait until I have those. This came with Elixir 1062Es, and I've never been a big fan of coated strings. You can see the coating actually coming off the D string where I pick. Once I get some new strings, DR high beams, I'll do a full setup. If you want to see a video on that, let me know in the comments. The one thing I thought I would absolutely hate was the pickups. I replaced the pickups on my Type X immediately. It had a thorium in the bridge and Empyrean in the neck. I actually didn't mind the Empyrean that much, but the thorium just didn't work for me. I was prepared to hate these lithiums and kind of did at first, but they've grown on me. They can get a little harsh in the high end, but so far for me, it hasn't been a deal breaker. A little bit of EQ has easily fixed that. But without further ado, let's see how it sounds. And there you have it. I've had this guitar for almost 2 weeks, but every time I pick it up, I have a hard time putting it down. It's hard for me to explain why, but it's probably a combination of the overall weight balance, fast neck, body contours, and multiple comfortable playing positions. I definitely made the right decision picking up this guitar, and I don't think you'd regret it either. But hey, until next time, rock on.